Hi everyone, I decided to record today. So I just got back from work and I'm kind of in a mood, so I was like, let me just do some question and answers. So I'm looking back at my video that I posted on July 9th called It's Been a While, I'm a P3. School starts in less than a week. Today is currently August 22nd. I start on Monday, so that's 4 days. One more year in the classroom and I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna just do rotations. The questions that are in the last video, I answered them like replying by word, but I just felt like they were really good questions, so I want to go through them and just talk about them for a little bit. Some of the ones that I thought would be helpful. The first question is, how did you know you want to go into pharmacy? I'm a high school senior and I'm still confused to what I should do for a career. I feel like a lot of people who watch my videos, they're from high school, like they're a senior and they're about to start college and they're just looking for something. What should they major in, pretty much? Wait, camera? Okay, kind of. Anyways, the thing is about pharmacy, like the first year or two, the prerequisites are the same. If you want to pursue some type of higher education, you have to take like math, English, all that anyway. So you don't have to like totally commit doing pharmacy. You can take the courses and see how you feel. So for me personally, when I first started college, I knew I wanted to be in the health profession. I actually started at community college first. So I took my basic science courses and everything. And to know more about it, I joined my pre-pharmacy club at my university. They have them at community college too. I'm sure they have them in any school. So you can join your pre-pharmacy club. They have guest speakers who come speak, and it just puts you in that environment more and more connections. And also in that way, I met a girl in the club, the pharmacy club, and she was working at independent pharmacy. I don't know how. I think we switched, like I got her a job opportunity and then she also got me a shadowing opportunity. So I ended up shadowing an independent pharmacist. So I saw how that was like working too. So working as a technician, you will really know what it's like, the kind of environment you're going to be in. So I think that's important. I think it's very important to work in the pharmacy setting before you pursue pharmacy school, for sure. The main reason why I liked pharmacy too was just like the process of finishing grad school. So like you don't have to get a bachelor's degree. I did, but it's not required. So if you could easily get a doctorate and make 6 figures, or however the salary is going to be like when you graduate, in 6 years. So even if it's not 6 figures, it's still like a decent living. My main point is you don't have to stick to one profession when you start like undergrad. So it's something you can definitely still figure out on your way. The next one is, what study strategies, styles did you find to be most useful for pharmacy school so far? So in pharmacy school, you will change up every way of studying. The way you study in undergrad is so different from how you're going to study in pharmacy school. Every single class changes, and depending on what type of material and what you're learning, you're going to study differently. So when I was learning, I feel like for all classes in general, I think having like charts, grouping things together and trying to find any relatable thing works out well. So I started kind of doing charts first year and I felt like it was helpful, but I didn't do it constantly. So second year I realized I really had to make charts all the time, and it was easy to group things together so you can find the common relationship between all the drugs or anything for that matter. Or even therapeutics, I'll make charts. I'll know like what the basics of everything, like what the signs and symptoms are, what the treatment is, what lab values you need to look at, what you need to monitor. So like it just needs to be in plain view. I'll probably insert like a clip right here of just some of my therapeutics notes, and also pharmacology. I mean, some people study differently. Like some things like Quizlet is helpful for. I feel like when I make flashcards, I don't end up using them. So it really varies on what you can do with Quizlet. Charts are the way to go. It's just very time consuming, but when you make them, that's one way of studying, but then when you review them, that's another way of studying. It's ideal to finish the charts like 2 to 3 days before your exam so you can review it and know it by heart. And I think it's good to have those to look over in the future when you come up with them again. or when you have therapeutics and you need to apply what you learned in pharmacology, for example. Is the market super saturated, and how do you keep yourself motivated to study? I work in a community pharmacy and all the pharmacists I work with tells me to do something else, so that's pretty discouraging. Saturation, that is definitely something you need to keep in mind, especially if you're just starting to consider pharmacy. I don't think I would ever tell somebody who has a passion for pharmacy, I would never tell someone don't pursue it, just because I don't think it's a total dead job like everyone says, but it is a concern. Like, jobs aren't easily attainable as it was in the past, you know? Like, before, back then, I don't even know how long ago, there were like sign-on bonuses. Back then, people were looking for you. You weren't looking for the job. Things have changed. Saturation is something that you have to consider because, yeah, I mean, like the class that just graduated from school, like, there aren't a lot of jobs lined up for them like it was in the past, but people are getting jobs. People are matching. Like, there is stuff out there. It's just right place, right time. Nowadays, you might not get the job you want at the city you want, but you can building up your experience so then you can apply to those more popular places. So if you're somebody who's like dead, like, oh, I only want to work here, like, it might not be a good profession to go to, but if you really care about pharmacy and you really want to pursue pharmacy, I don't think you should totally disregard it, but it's something you should definitely keep in mind. That's why for me personally, I'm still open for everything, you know? Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I don't really know too much about saturation just because I haven't graduated yet, so I don't know how it's like to find a job. Oh yeah, so the other part of that question, how do you keep yourself motivated to study? I don't know if I ever shared this on my channel, but first semester of second year, I was doing pretty bad in one of my classes. It was so bad to the point where I started doubting myself a lot on if I was good enough or like smart enough to be a pharmacist. Like, I was like, if I can't even like get this down, like, how am I supposed to take care of patients, you know? Like, how am I supposed to take care of people? How am I gonna let my parents down? Like, I just got to me in like such a, I don't know, I was in a dark place for a while. That semester was very tough. That's why I kind of stopped like recording for a little bit, because it wasn't really happy for me anymore. But last semester I learned a lot because I made it through. It was hard, but I didn't give up because there was a class I was struggling in. I didn't know how to study for the class, so I went to see the professor. I talked to upperclassmen and they were there for me. People are, if you want help and you reach out, there's help, you know? But the thing is, what I learned, because the following semester, which was last semester, they say it's one of the hardest semesters in pharmacy school. And I was terrified going into that semester because I was like, I already did so bad in that one class, and the next semester it's like another part 2 of that class on top of like so many other hard classes. Surprisingly, that semester, last semester, I was mentally prepared, just because I know you try hard enough, put in your efforts, like you actually put in the work, you'll be fine. Also, in pharmacy school, you do not have time to stress out. Like, if you need to cry, just let it out for 5 minutes and then keep studying, because you can't stop crying, you can't stop being sad. So like, I just kind of eliminated anything that would make me think negative, anything that would cause stress in my life. I prioritized school and I found study styles that work, like making those charts. I had close contact with my professors and with upperclassmen and anybody that would want to help in like my class. So don't think you're alone. When you're stressing out, everybody's gone through it, and your professors do care. So definitely reach out and they'll help you as much as they can. So yeah, I think those questions, I think there was like three or four questions, were really good questions that I get asked a lot, and I feel like I need to take the time to answer. I hope you guys learned a lot from that. That's just my 2 cents on that. Everything can be different from anyone else's perspective. But I hope you enjoyed that. I have a lot of stuff coming up. I still have to work, and then I have the mentor-mentee barbecue that SSHP holds every weekend before school starts. So that's this weekend. We'll have our first week of school. It's filled with meetings and classes, and then yeah, we'll see if I'm gonna turn on the camera again anytime soon. But it was nice talking to you guys. I think some of you guys are starting school soon, so good luck. Don't panic. The first 3 weeks of school is like horror. Like, you just feel so overwhelmed. Maybe the first 3 months, but you'll get past it. Trust me. It'll get better. All right, guys. See you later.